Yeah.
Dun, dun. You never talked about if you like to dance.
I like Bill Apter. I mean, I like everything.
Thank you. I like Dr. Chris Featherstone.
Thank you.
But I don't know if my dancing style is like staying alive.
You bring your own mix and your own style to the world, man, and I appreciate that.
Well, I think you have to bring your own mix and your own style. I like
do.
how you put that. Very interesting.
Thank you.
By the way, I have you got your backstage pass?
I do have my backstage pass.
I know you do.
Of course you do, because you're a part of the backstage pass. Bill, great transition.
Yeah, well, that and I hope all our viewers that are here for all our unscripted are following everything on Backstage Pass. The show I do with Joe Lowry, my newsletter, my archives, the Vince the Bro Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and JBL and Jerry Briscoe.
Yeah, let's shout out to Mac Davis as well, man. You got to give love to the host. Mac Davis is amazing. So Joe Lowry, Mac Davis, great host.
Well, thank you. He's a great guy. I've known him for a lot of years, and he's he comes back from not just the wrestling world, but he also comes back from the radio world. Oh, yeah. You can tell by his voice. He's radio trained. He's great.
He's great.
He's got a good natural.
Hello, everybody. This is Mac Davis.
Yes. He's got that great thing that you need to be in radio. He's got that zip.
He does.
What's the word? What was Lou Grant? He's got spunk.
And he does. He has spunk. Yeah.
You remember that?
He has. Mac Davis is cool, man. There's different types of podcasters. There's more long form, more chill, more relaxed. It depends on the vibe. Like I'm a more relaxed, chill, long form, philosophical, therapist type of vibe to me. And then Mac Davis is boom, punch. He brings the punch. And so that's the eclectic vibe here on Sportskeeda. It gives you all different types of flavors. And hey, look, if you like this flavor, if you like your your food in the microwave and give you a quick little kick and a protein shake. There you go, man.
I learned something about microwave, by the way. At one time, when I used to, and I still do once in a while, I buy like what they used to call TV dinners,
Oh
and
yeah.
I always said they don't taste as good as they look on the package. And some elderly woman, older than me,
Okay.
pre Abraham Lincoln time, she told me you got to cook it in the oven. If you make it in the microwave, it doesn't taste right. And I tried it, and she was right.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Chris, I want to talk wrestling with you.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
They announced, as you know, on SmackDown that the women now will have their own United States Championship.
Ooh, okay.
So they did not say how they're going to do this. My assumption is it will be some sort of a tournament rather than just awarding it to someone, and it will probably cover NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. So now I've written on the back of a card here who I think, and I'll give my reason, who I think they will put that belt on that would make an incredible. And I mentioned this on the Wrestle Votes, Joe Lowry Wrestle Votes show that we do. But what I wanted to do was find out that you watching WWE and you've seen all the women there, if you had to pick the one woman that people would take notice of, and then I'll show you mine. I want to see if you agree with me after you pick. Who is that? You're the talent coordinator right now. Well, we now have a chance to give that U.S. belt to this person. Who is it?
All right. So I was thinking of one thing in particular. So there's been really good world champions who were also good United States champions. As a matter of fact, won a United States championship after winning a world championship. Two people I can think of right off the rip is Sting and John Cena. Two people who've won a United States championship after winning a world championship. And I think that would be something, especially that would be the same type of theme I would have for this United States championship. I would have a prospect. I would have a person who needs to be pushed. I would have them be a chaser. So therefore, I would have more of an established talent, a previous world champion be the United States champion. So therefore, I would put it on none other than, let's see, I think I got a drum roll. I think I got a drum roll here. You ready? Let's see.
Get the instruments ready here, gang.
I would put it on a returning Charlotte Flair.
Interesting. That's not who I picked.
I think that would Jade Cargill. Okay.
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. So you asked me first, so I'm going to tell you why Charlotte Flair first. So I think that Charlotte Flair is someone who would put establishment already in the United States Championship. Like, this is something that's a brand new concept. So you want to put legitimacy to it. And I think what you could do, I think this kind of can put our two answers together. What you could do is you could have Charlotte as the heel as United States champion, and you can have Jade be the one chasing the United States championship, and that could lead to a very prominent match at a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, perhaps.
So my mentality is this, and Charlotte's an excellent choice, but I think she's too established. She's, it's just, I see now recently, as you've probably seen, they're teasing little bits of Jade and Bianca maybe going at each other eventually. When they put that U.S. belt on someone, I want to see Jade Cargill come out with her opening with that belt on and the muscles and the smoke. And I just think she was the first TBS champion there. She looks the part. And I think the TBS Jade Cargill, who had that very heelish type of attitude there, has not been used in WWE. And I think that starting the feud with the she and Bianca, the last two left in if they do a tournament, and Jade wins and comes out with this attitude. I just see this. I I see her with that belt looking so elegant and so tough and so royal. That's why I'm picking her.
That sounds like a plan, man. I think with Jade, the thing is that the problem with the TBS championship in AEW was that she was heavily cheered in AEW when she was the TBS champion. So it was very
Right.
counterproductive to her wrestling baby faces. And so I'm wondering, like, I buy that. I buy what you're selling. If the fans boo her, I think if the fans boo her, I think she can run with it. I think she has a cockiness to her that can work. That we saw in AEW.
Yeah.
I think AEW did drop the ball by not making her a big baby face. I think she was heel long enough to become a big baby face. Especially, I mean, look at the audience. The fans were cheering her every single week, and they dropped the ball by not just go ahead and looking at the audience and turning her baby face. It would be interesting. I think if she does play that cocky role that she did in AEW, if the fans are biting, if the fans are booing, run with it, go with it, let it ride. A lot of people, and I'm interested in what you think about this, Bill.
Well, wait, before you go on,
Yep,
if
go
she
for it.
kicks the tar out of Bianca in the proper manner, so to say, that would pretty much turn the fans against
That could be
her.
the case. That could be the case. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think with that, Bill, it'll be interesting to see if you do turn her. My question to you is: a lot of people lately, so people, the wrestling fans, man, super flip floppy, unfortunately. And the thing that I have, the question I have for you is: a lot of fans have been really starting to, unfortunately, do fan things, and she's been getting a lot of flack lately about her inability to grow in the ring. She makes a lot of botches, and a lot of people still calling her green and things like that. So she's not as much. I mean, a lot of people thinking Bianca holding her. She's holding Bianca back. And so my question is, why would you when, how, why, when would you give her the United States Championship and she's not as polished yet as an individual worker?
Good question. And my answer to that is she's moving along quite well on the furthering of her skills in the ring. I think more so she would be a better competitor without botching more in single matches than in tag teams when you've got three other people in there calling shots in what you're doing. Sometimes it's probably a lot of mass confusion that we don't even think about. I think as a single star, she will be probably one of the. I just think as a single star, the botches are not going to happen as often as they did in the tag teams.
Fair.
I think one-on-one, I think will be a tighter match situation with one opponent at a time.
Cool. So with that, if I was a typical fan on the socials, I would say, well, Bill, and trust me,
Is that the typical fan on the socials?
Yes, I'm not advocating what the typical fan on the socials says, but I will say what a typical fan on the socials would say to you, Bill Apter, if based on what we see a lot on the socials. But Bill, I think she's green. And she was like that in AEW. She would always botch in AEW, Bill. Why would you make her US champion?
Well, because she looks the part. Again, it's all in the marketing. She just looks great. And again, I think that she has grown really, really well in what she's doing in the ring. And she's just the right pick to me. You know what you need for that US champion? You need a super looking person. The other
Yes.
person that was chatting back and forth earlier this evening was IYO SKY, who I also think would be a good fit. She's very over with the fans. They love her. It would be a great spot for her. But I can't see anybody other than Jade in my head. She just has that. When she comes out as the tag team champion, even with the belt, and
Oh, she has a presence to her that is virtually unmatchable. I mean, other than probably
right,
like a Bianca Belair. Yep. I mean, I'm as far as marketing, as far as brand, as far as presence, as far as athleticism. I mean, Jade Cargill checks all of the boxes. I mean, she looks
yeah,
the part. She's one. Always. My philosophy is your champion morning show worthy or talks or late night show worthy? You know what
oh
I mean?
yeah,
Like
good
are they?
point. I never
Do they
thought of that.
thank
Great
you.
point.
Do they fit the mode of going on a morning show? Do they fit the mode of going on a talk show? That is something that I would really like. If I was the booker, I would really look at a persona or a brand, and I would say, are they worthy? Are they ready? Are they presented enough or
Yeah,
strong enough as a persona or as a gimmick as a character to be on that morning show, to will be on that talk show. Someone like Cena was ripe for the picking with that. He looked the part.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
very professional, suited and booted, looked amazing. Cody's another person. Reigns another person. Rock is another
That
person.
that rock guy,
Yep,
whatever
The Rock,
happened.
absolutely, yeah. And so you have to think about those intangibles. I think about things from a business and a psychological
Yeah, no, no,
perspective.
that you're
If
right
you're
on with that.
if you're looking at just and then from a business standpoint, you're trying to invoke the interest in people who aren't in the bubble. So you're
Yep.
trying to make wrestling look like it's bigger than the bubble, and it's transcending the business. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want that. You want that, especially with podcasts nowadays, man. You need that person who looks like a part, who looks professional, looks
Well, that's
nice,
her. I mean,
and that's
again,
that's
to
her,
check
and, I,
that
and, I'm,
other
and I'm with you
box
for
off
sure.
that
So
you were
yeah, she
talking
checks the
about.
boxes. Yeah,
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 yeah, definitely. You've got to be bigger than life. You have to be a superhero.
absolutely, hundred
That's what
percent,
it is.
hundred
That's what it
percent.
is.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And so I think she checks the boxes there. I think from an outside the pro wrestling bubble standpoint, Jay Cargill would be the person. I mean, like if I want
Yeah.
someone to represent this new championship for the WWE, it's absolutely Jay Cargill. I don't think the fans would bite it in it too much, but hey, heck, I mean, again, if she wins the U.S. championship, that could cause a chorus of boos from the fan base who thinks that she's too green and she botches and it's booing her for winning it. So guess what?
That's the internet fan base.
When you have those types of people, live crowd and internet fan base, run with it. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're being booed for being too green and all these things,
go for it.
that is that is that is fodder. That is absolute. That is a meal ticket to be one of the biggest heels in the company and just
See,
feeding
now,
all of that. Yeah,
now that audience has changed again now because the WWE has cut down on the B and C towns at this point.
Hmm.
So most people are getting there, other than the people that go to the PLEs live, most
Mhm.
people are getting all of this on TV now or on
Yeah,
streaming. It's a
yeah,
different audience. So that kid that used to just go to the live shows every 2 months in Pennsylvania or wherever they are, they're not seeing them as much in person. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. The
sure.
killer schedule that now that under the TKO banner, etc. Have you looked at the schedule pre WrestleMania, like in March, where they're going to be all over
The
Europe.
European tour. Yeah, I've seen that.
How are they? How are they going to handle this? I mean, in terms of the talent being fresh, not just every night, but you've got jet lag, you've
Mhm.
got the matches, you've
Yeah.
got the travel, and you've got to be 100,000% ready for whatever you're doing at WrestleMania. It's killer schedule.
Well, I can see and I'll find out more toward that time and report it on my X. What I do think could
Wait,
happen.
on your X?
Yep, on my
You
X.
don't call it Twitter X? Come on.
X, just
Anyway,
like it
going
says right
back to
there. So reported it. So what I think will happen, I think there's a high chance of what this will happen is just like what they're doing this weekend. Wrestlers are getting time off to spend more of the holidays, and Triple H is implementing that more
yes.
because they it was a double taping. They get next week off. Raw's going to be taped. Spending time with the holidays. They're picking back up the week after the week of
Is
Thanksgiving,
that
but
what
they
they're
still
doing,
have.
or are they on the road in Europe or somewhere next
No,
week?
they're
Which
getting
is
time. They're getting
okay.
time off.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
they have the Raw schedule off
Good. Good.
because of that. So that's good. I mean, they actually right after Crown Jewel, they had a European loop. The European loop.
Mhm.
That's why Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes wasn't on there. So
Right.
they're doing that. I mean, and that's great. They SmackDown has a taping next, double taping next month too in
Yeah.
December. So they're doing more time and toward Christmas, and so they're going on a loop, Christmas loop. And I reported today that CM Punk is scheduled to be in that house show loop, the holiday tour loop, and WWE is interested in bringing him back for Saturday Night's Main Event. And
Sure. Of
so
course.
yeah, which they should. And I think that is good because, and I think the loop ends about 3 weeks before WrestleMania.
Hmm.
WrestleMania is the Easter
Hmm.
weekend this
Yeah.
next year, so that loop ends before WrestleMania. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do another taping in early
Yeah.
April, a double taping. So I mean, I
Now you
wouldn't be the
mentioned.
biggest fan of that because that's the road to WrestleMania. However, they're already going to have to work during Easter, so why not, give them a week off? So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah. Yeah. Now you mentioned CM Punk. So I'm trying to think, what do they do with CM Punk? Because the whole Seth Rollins thing now is totally involvement with Bronson Reed, War Games,
Mhm.
so much. So who is Punk? I'm trying to think of who Punk would be an opponent for.
I think if you do, I think if you're trying to return Saturday Night's Main Event, I mean, the first time in I think 16 years, somewhere around this,
Yeah,
it's been a
yeah.
long time. I think what you do is I mean, why not Punk Gunther? I mean, if you're trying to make that a big thing, and you're trying to make it a huge
Good
return
idea.
for the first time and that long, go all out. Do Punk
Oh,
Gunther for the championship.
oh, I just thought of this because of you saying this. Maybe because, again, they have not announced how the U.S. tournament's going to be held. Maybe it's going to be a one night thing on Saturday night's main event.
Could be,
What
yeah.
better place to crown the first woman's? And you know what? There are wrestling fans that used to be wrestling fans that haven't watched in 16 years because it's
Exactly.
not on NBC. And
Yep.
now they come back and they see these amazing,
Yep.
I'm going to say it, these amazing looking women that, looked good 16 years ago. And now there's another great look there. And all the athletes, male and female, looking better. But I think that would be a great place to crown that
Yeah.
first U.S. champion. Battle Royal.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Or yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, or you can do a culmination, at Saturday night's main event,
Sure.
because they're not going to have a December pay-per-view. So that could be like the mega show. Like they used to have
Yeah.
the Saturday night's main event at WWE was like the class of the champions of WCW. It wasn't a
Mhm.
pay-per-view,
Right.
but it was like a free mega show. And so I think it's a good way to do it. I mean, the next coming weeks, you can have tournament matches and things like that, and you can have a 4-way, a 6-way. You know what I mean? To crown that, so it'd be be interesting. You can either do a tournament bracket, or you can do a series of matches to do the final 4 or final 6 and crown it there. So that would be very interesting.
So
All right, before we go,
Punk,
yeah, Punk, why not? I mean, because you could. I mean, why not do Punk Gunther? I wouldn't. I would save Gunther's loss until WrestleMania. I think that Punk could. I think Punk can earn. Punk can earn or afford, I should say, afford a loss to Gunther, and plus it just makes Gunther look even better because I don't think his run. I haven't been very impressed with his run over the past 3 months since he's been world champion.
It's changed a bit. I liked what they did with he and Damian Priest, but it put more of a emphasis on Damian Priest,
Right.
where he had no fear of Gunther
whatsoever.
And I've never really seen Gunther back up before.
100%. Yep, I even talked about that on the show last night. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that because Gunther, that's not Gunther's persona. He's hard nosed, he's tough. I mean, he's fearful. I mean, so he's fearing, he's fearless as a person, fearing as an intimidating as a competitor, and so you want to keep that. You want to keep that going, man.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's what you do is if
killer instinct,
yeah, absolutely.
The eye of the tiger, the whole.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to feud Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser?
So let me put a bow on the Punk thing real quick, and that's a good question to answer as well. So I do think that with the Punk thing, Punk can afford a loss. Because there's a bunch of different ways Punk can go. Punk just came out of an 8-month feud against Drew McIntyre. It was 9 months. I mean, Hell in a Cell was when it culminated. So it was a 9-month feud. Started the Royal Rumble when Drew interfered or eliminated CM Punk. 9 months. There was a couple cool moments. Then he came back. Punk was injured, came back. But it was really a 9-month feud total against CM Punk. CM Punk won that 9-month feud, so he's got a lot of stock that is with him. I think being away from television is kind of cooling it a little bit. I think we need to see more of him. I
agree.
But I do think that if he loses to Gunther. If he goes against Gunther and he loses to Gunther, because he even teased at the promo that he had after beating Drew, he wants to go for Gunther. So it's a perfect transition. Gunther beats Priest at Survivor Series. Priest loses to Gunther. CM Punk re-debuted. He made his return at the Survivor Series last year.
Yeah.
So why not, if when Gunther beats Priest, CM Punk comes back at this Survivor Series, starts a feud against Gunther.
Book it.
There you go. Book it. Yeah, sure. I'll book it.
That's it. Get it. Put it in the books.
I'll book it.
Here, Dr. Chris.
Nice.
Here, let me switch it over to you.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
Let me see.
I thought you'd have a pen there.
Let me grab it. Put the pen up. Let me grab it.
Hold on. There you go.
There you go.
Get it?
Right. Thank you.
We've got Roland.
That's what I'm about to hit before we go. Absolutely. We got Roland, $2. Shouldn't the first women's U.S. champ be Ivy Nile? What do you think?
No. I love her. She's great. But no.
I'm with you. I don't think it should be Ivy Nile because, I think it's someone who should really be you need to bring the legitimacy of this championship like right out the gate. And so if you don't have someone with higher stocks and they become champion, because someone like a Chelsea Green, I've seen her name, I've seen Blair Davenport, I'm like, no, because you got to build those names up to beat someone who already has
type of characters.
Yes.
So,
I mean, Santino was U.S. champion. He was a shtick character. I
know, but we're talking a different genre and a different time.
It's still shtick, but not as much. I mean, to your point, I think there's more wrestling heavy, but I'm a stick guy, man. I think that's what the bread and butter of pro wrestling is. But I compared Chelsea Green to the female version of Santino Marella. So I think
I would buy that, but I still wouldn't make her U.S. champion.
I agree. I think that
Jade Cargill is NBC.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think you could if you want to do stick. Yeah, I mean you gotta keep up the legitimacy of the championship, man. So a lot of times, to your point, Bill, when you do stick like that, it decreases the stock of the championship.
What about what's her name in the Wyatt Six? What's her name?
Nikki Cross.
Yes, just put it on Nikki Cross. That's it.
No,
I'm just kidding. Come on, come on. You didn't.
One more from
did you?
No, I didn't. One more from Rollin. Ivy Nile's American Made. I mean, and that's the problem to me personally. I don't think American Made's being booked strongly whatsoever.
Yeah, she is a real American.
There you go. Or American Made, which is the WCW version of.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bill Apter, let the fans know what
Chris, it was a pleasure being back alone with you again. We had guests the best. And by the way, Sam Houston and I talk pretty regularly, and he's got a fundraising thing. I'm going to be doing a bit of a talk show with him to help Black Bart, who is having some severe medical issues, and Sam Houston is trying to help raise some funds for him, but we'll come back with more information.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything involved with that. I am good friends with Black Bart, old Black Bart, man. He's one of my favorite guests from my fans at Pancakes and Power Slams. He's been on there a bunch of times. He was like a regular. He was like a featured guest for a long time, man. He made a bunch of appearances. We would just have fun with old Black Bart, man. We'd always check on each other. Great to talk on the phone. We've had plenty of conversations, a bunch, man. So yeah, man, if there's like a top 5 of wrestlers that I've grown a friendship with in the industry, man, it's been old Black Bart, man.
That's great. I never knew about that.
Yep, yes indeed.
Depending upon how he's feeling, and they've got that fundraiser, maybe we can see if he can pop in on one of these weeks for a few minutes.
Yeah, I would love it, man. I would love it.
Yeah,
he's always game for my request of him coming on my show, so I'm all for it. All right, this guy right here is Bill Apter. Follow me at Chris Prolific, man. Call me. I had a ton of endorsements today, which was I posted something on X about just betting on myself and the grind in the past few weeks. And
I saw it. Good stuff.
I appreciate that. Doing a lot of breaking news, man, and doing some really good journalism work over the past few weeks. And so, man, I got a ton of endorsements. Kurt Angle endorsed me. EC3 endorsed me. Vince Russo endorsed me. So, of course, Sportskeeda as
and bro, I support you as well.
Thank you. Baby Doll endorsed me, so I got a bunch of retweets, and so it's been great, man. So I appreciate it. I haven't checked. I probably got a bunch of other endorsements and retweets too. So follow me, man. I'm legit. I've reported a bunch of legitimate things over the past few weeks, man. So I'm not. I take all of my jobs very seriously.
I know you do.
Journalism is one of them. So I'm going to give you some accurate reporting. And big old thanks to Sportskeeda for all.
You're willing to do a job? Okay, I want to have a match against you. Then.
There you go, man. There you go. Very nice. Let me give you this. Let me give you the sound effect, man. It has to go with the sound effect. There you go. This guy right here is Bill Apter. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, everybody.
We'll see you at the matches.
So long.